Thanks for logging on to MyFoxHurricane.com. Well, through the month of July, the areas that we watch, it's across the Gulf of Mexico down into the Western Caribbean. A lot of these systems, they work their way to the north, the northwest, or even turn towards the northeast, right over the state of Florida. We saw that with what became, or eventually became, Alex once it passed by the state and moved out into the Atlantic. Now, as we look at the satellite and the wind shear combined, you see some pretty strong wind shear down across the Caribbean, especially as you get into the central and over into the eastern Caribbean. So you're not seeing a whole lot of cloud cover in that area. Very clear across the Gulf of Mexico as well. Remember, we've got this big ridge that is sitting across the southeast that's giving very quiet conditions. Now, you look further down to the south. You do see this cluster, a very disorganized area of some showers and storms in that direction. So a couple of things are going on. We have some very dry air that's working its way through portions of the Caribbean. We have that Saharan air layer. We've had a little surge of that dry air work its way through the Gulf of Mexico up towards Texas, and there is more of that working its way on towards the west as we go through the next couple of days. In fact, you look at the true color satellite imagery, a little bit of this is some of that sun glint, but if you look closely right through here, you kind of see that little hazy line where you have the haze here, you have clear skies. So we've got some haze here, that's that Saharan air. We've got some clear skies, and then you look closely, you can see some of that drier, that Saharan air, that dust that is working its way up into Texas as well. Tropical systems, they don't like all this dry, dusty air, and so that is preventing some of the storms from developing across the Caribbean and up into the Gulf of Mexico over the next several days, on top of the big ridge of high pressure which is centered across the southeastern U.S. But as you head further to the south, there's that area that we're watching. Just a kind of an elongated area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms of low pressure. Now, there is a possibility we're going to see some slow development with this over the next several days. And the general idea, it's going to drift towards the north and west across the Western Caribbean, maybe over Central America and up towards the Yucatan Hurricane Center, putting up to about a 40% chance of tropical development with this over the next 5 days. So you look at the Fox model, that idea, you're just seeing this very disorganized area, a broad area of low pressure moving over Central America, maybe some of this working its way into the Western Caribbean in the general direction of the Yucatan. But again, we're still talking about a very disorganized, broad area of low pressure. It's going to take some time for this to develop over the next several days. Here's another model, the GFS model. Same basic idea, but it does look like it wants to keep this more over the water or just kind of hugging the coastline. And if it does something like that, maybe a little bit more development with this because it is tapping some of that energy off of the Caribbean waters, the warm waters, and then working its way towards the Yucatan. That's really the key with all the models that we are looking at, is it basically takes it on that northwesterly track over towards the Yucatan, nowhere close to the U.S. as we go through the next several days. Of course, we're going to keep you updated on this right here on MyFoxHurricane.com.